Maya Rodriguez wiped down the counter for the third time that evening. The clock on the wall showed 11:47 p.m., and Danny's diner was nearly empty. Only 2 customers remained, an old truck driver nursing his coffee and a young couple sharing a slice of pie. The rain outside beat against the windows, making everything look blurry and dark. She counted the tips in her apron pocket again. $13. That was all she had made tonight. It would have to cover her bus fare home and lunch tomorrow. Maya sighed and looked at her textbook stacked behind the register. Her xenobiology homework waited for her, but she was too tired to think about alien biology right now. The diner sat on the edge of New Angeles, where the city lights faded into industrial warehouses and shipping yards. Hover trucks moved goods between the spaceport and the city all night long. Maya had worked here for 2 years while studying at the community college. The pay was low, but the night shift let her attend classes during the day. She was 23 years old and had been on her own since aging out of foster care at 18. Every dollar mattered. Every tip counted. Maya had learned to stretch a meal for 3 days and walk an extra mile to save bus fare. Her dream was to work with alien species someday, maybe as a translator or cultural advisor. But dreams cost money, and money was something she never had enough of. The bell above the door chimed. Maya looked up to see 3 figures enter the diner. They were not human. The first was tall with gray skin and 4 arms. The second had scales and walked on 2 legs that bent backward like a bird. The third looked almost human except for the ridged forehead and yellow eyes. Maya recognized them as Corvins from her studies. They were known for being aggressive traders who looked down on humans. The 3 aliens sat at a corner booth and spoke in low voices. Maya could hear their strange language but could not understand it. She approached their table with menus, trying to be polite. "Welcome to Danny's Diner. What can I get you tonight?" The tall gray one looked at her with cold eyes. "We are waiting for someone. Bring us water." Maya nodded and brought 3 glasses of water. The aliens ignored her after that, continuing their quiet conversation. Something about their manner made her uncomfortable, but she tried to focus on her other customers. The truck driver finished his coffee and left a $2 tip. The young couple paid their bill and hurried out into the rain. Now Maya was alone with the 3 Corvins, who seemed to be watching the windows more than talking to each other. At midnight, the bell chimed again. An elderly human man walked in, shaking rain from his gray coat. He was maybe 70 years old, with white hair and kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. He moved slowly like his joints hurt. Maya had never seen him before. The old man sat at the counter and smiled at Maya. "Could I have some coffee, please? And maybe a sandwich if you have one." "Of course. We have turkey, ham, or roast beef." "Turkey. Sounds good, thank you." Maya poured his coffee and went to make his sandwich. The old man seemed nice, the kind of grandfather she had always wished she could have. He asked about her studies when he noticed her textbooks. "Xenobiology? That's impressive. Not many humans study alien life. I find it interesting," Maya said. "I think humans and aliens could work together better if we understood each other." The old man nodded. "Wise thinking. The galaxy is big enough for all of us." As they talked, Maya noticed the 3 Corvins paying more attention to their conversation. The tall gray one kept looking at the old man. Something felt wrong, but Maya could not figure out what. The old man finished his sandwich and asked for his bill. "That was delicious. You're a good cook." "Thanks, that'll be $8.50. He reached for his wallet, then frowned. He checked his coat pockets, then his pants pockets. His face went pale. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I think I lost my wallet. I don't have any money with me." Maya felt bad for him. "Don't worry about it. The sandwich is on me. I can't let you do that. You work hard for your money." "It's okay, really. Everyone has bad days." The old man looked grateful, but embarrassed. He stood up slowly, putting on his coat. "Thank you for your kindness. I'll remember this." As he walked toward the door, Maya saw the 3 Corvins get up from their booth. They followed the old man outside. Maya felt a chill that had nothing to do with the rain. She watched through the window as the old man walked toward the bus stop. The 3 aliens came up behind him. Maya could not hear what they said, but she saw the old man turn around looking scared. The tall gray Corvan pushed him, and the old man fell to the wet pavement. Maya ran outside without thinking. "Hey, leave him alone." The Corvans looked at her with surprise, then anger. The scaled one spoke in broken English. "Go back inside, human. This not your business. You're hurting an old man, that makes it my business." The old man was trying to get up, but he was hurt. Blood ran from a cut on his forehead. The Corvans had taken something from him, probably his wallet. The yellow-eyed Corvan stepped toward Maya. "Stupid human girl. You want to be hurt too?" Maya was scared, but she stood her ground. "I'm calling the police." The tall gray one said something in their language, and all three aliens backed away. They got into a sleek hovercar and drove off into the night, leaving Maya alone with the injured old man. She knelt beside him on the wet concrete. "Are you okay? Can you stand?" "I think so." His voice was shaky. "They took my wallet, my identification, my credit cards, everything." Maya helped him to his feet and back into the diner. She got the first aid kit and cleaned the cut on his head. It was not deep, but head wounds bled a lot. "Those were Corvans," the old man said. "They don't usually rob humans. Strange." "Maybe they were just opportunists," Maya said, though she had the same feeling that something was not right. The old man looked at her with tired eyes. "I have no money to get home. No way to call for help. I don't even know where I am exactly." Maya made a decision that surprised even her. She reached into her apron and pulled out her tip money, $13 in crumpled bills and coins. "Here," she said, pressing the money into his hands. "Take this. Get a cab or call someone." The old man stared at the money, then at Maya. "I can't take this. This is your money. I want you to have it. Everyone deserves help when they need it." Tears came to the old man's eyes. "You don't even know me. I don't need to know you to know you're a good person. You were polite and kind. You offered to pay for your meal even when you found out you had no money. That says something about who you are." The old man carefully folded the bills and put them in his pocket. "What's your name?" "Maya Rodriguez." "I'm Henry Walsh, and I promise you, Maya Rodriguez, that I will never forget what you did for me tonight." Henry called a taxi and waited by the door. Before he left, he looked at Maya's textbooks again. "You really want to work with aliens?" "Yes. I think humans have a lot to offer the galaxy. We just need to show them who we really are." Henry smiled, and for a moment he looked younger. "Keep studying, Maya. The galaxy needs people like you." After he left, Maya cleaned the diner alone. She had no money for the bus, so she would have to walk home in the rain. She had no money for lunch tomorrow, so she would have to skip eating until her next shift. But she felt good about what she had done. She did not know that her simple act of kindness would change everything. She did not know that Henry Walsh was not just a kind old man, and she did not know that the three Corvans who had robbed him were part of something much bigger and more dangerous than a simple street crime. Maya locked up the diner and started walking home through the rain, thinking about her homework and wondering if she would ever really make it as a xenobiologist. She had no idea that her future had just begun. Henry Walsh sat in the back of the taxi as it drove through the empty streets of New Angeles. His head still hurt from where the Corvans had hit him, but he was thinking about the young woman who had helped him. Maya Rodriguez. She had given him her last $13 without knowing who he was. The taxi drove toward the spaceport where a private shuttle waited to take Henry to his real destination. He was not just Henry Walsh, a kind old man with no money. He was Harrison Walsh, the most powerful human businessman in the galaxy. His company, Walsh Dynamics, built the technology that kept humanity competitive with alien civilizations. Henry had been traveling in secret to visit his newest research facility on the moon. The Corvans who robbed him were not random criminals. They had found out who he was and wanted to humiliate him. It was their way of showing that humans were weak and easy targets. But they had not expected Maya Rodriguez. The shuttle lifted off from the spaceport and headed for the orbital station New Geneva. This was where Henry really lived and worked. The station was massive, with over 1 million people living and working in its spinning sections. Walsh Dynamics owned most of it. Henry's assistant, Carol Peters, was waiting for him when the shuttle docked. She was a tall woman with short black hair and worried eyes. "Sir, we've been looking for you for hours. Security said you never arrived at the moon facility. What happened?" Henry walked with her through the station's gleaming corridors. "I had a small problem. 3 Corvins decided to teach me a lesson about human weakness." Carol stopped walking. "They attacked you? Sir, we need to report this immediately. We need to increase security." "No," Henry said. "I want to know more about these particular Corvins first, and I want to know more about someone else." They entered Henry's office, which had windows looking out at the stars. Earth hung below them like a blue and white jewel. Henry sat at his desk and activated his computer. "I need you to find out everything about a woman named Maya Rodriguez. She works at Danny's Diner in New Angeles." Carol looked confused. "A waitress? Sir? What does she have to do with the attack?" Henry told Carol what had happened. How Maya had helped him without knowing who he was. How she had given him her last $13. How she had stood up to 3 dangerous aliens to protect him. "She didn't know I was Harrison Walsh," Henry said. "To her, I was just an old man who needed help, and she helped me anyway." Carol began typing on her computer. Within minutes, she had Maya's complete file on the screen. Henry read it carefully. Maya Rodriguez, age 23. Parents died in a hover car accident when she was 8. Spent 10 years in foster care. No family. Worked 3 different jobs while finishing high school. Now working at the diner while studying xenobiology at New Angeles Community College. Henry kept reading. Maya's grades were excellent despite having to work so many hours. Her teachers wrote comments about her kindness and intelligence. She volunteered at a shelter for homeless veterans on weekends. She had once given blood to save an injured alien who had been refused treatment at other hospitals. "She's remarkable," Henry said quietly. "Sir?" Carol asked. "This young woman has almost nothing, but she gives what little she has to help others. Look at this report from her teacher. Maya wrote a paper about peaceful cooperation between humans and aliens. She believes humans can make the galaxy a better place through understanding and kindness." Carol read over his shoulder. "She sounds idealistic. Maybe. Or maybe she understands something that the rest of us have forgotten." Henry leaned back in his chair. He had built Walsh Dynamics by being tough and smart. He had competed with alien corporations by developing better technology and making shrewd deals. He had succeeded by being harder and more ruthless than his competitors. But Maya Rodriguez had shown him something different. She had shown him the power of simple human kindness. "I want to know more about her," Henry said. "But I don't want her to know who I am yet." "What do you want me to do?" Henry thought for a moment. "Set up surveillance around the diner. I want to know who she is when she thinks no one is watching. I want to see if her kindness was real or if she was just being polite to a customer." Carol looked uncomfortable. "Sir, that seems like spying on an innocent person." "I need to be sure," Henry said. "If I'm going to help her, I need to know she deserves it. Too many people have tried to take advantage of my wealth over the years." Carol nodded and began making arrangements. Within hours, Henry had cameras and listening devices placed around the diner in Maya's neighborhood. He told himself it was necessary, but part of him felt guilty about invading her privacy. Over the next few days, Henry watched Maya through his hidden cameras. What he saw impressed him more each day. Maya walked to work every day to save bus fare. She brought lunch from home in a paper bag. She was always polite to customers, even when they were rude to her. She helped other employees when they struggled with difficult orders. One evening, Henry watched as Maya served an elderly alien woman who was clearly lost and confused. The alien spoke no English and seemed frightened. Maya spent 20 minutes, using simple gestures and her basic knowledge of alien languages to help the woman find her way. She even gave the alien woman her own dinner when the woman had no money to buy food. Another day, Henry saw Maya give her jacket to a homeless man who was shivering in the cold. She walked home in just her thin uniform shirt, hugging herself to stay warm. "She's genuine," Henry told Carol as they watched the recordings. Her kindness is real. But Henry also noticed other things. The same 3 Corvins who had robbed him were now watching the diner. They sat in a hover car across the street taking pictures and making notes. They seemed to be planning something. Henry called his security chief, Commander Jake Murphy. Murphy was a former military officer who had fought in the border wars with the Zephyrian Empire. "I need you to protect someone," Henry told him. "But she can't know she's being protected." Henry explained about Maya and the Corvins. Murphy studied the surveillance footage and frowned. "These aren't random criminals, sir. The way they move, the equipment they have. They're professionals. This looks like intelligence gathering." "What would they want with a waitress?" "Maybe they think she knows something. Or maybe they're using her to get to you." Henry felt a chill. He had put Maya in danger by going to her diner. The Corvins might hurt her to get revenge on him. "Double the surveillance," Henry ordered, "and have a security team ready to move if anything happens." Meanwhile, Maya continued her normal life, unaware that she was being watched by both Henry's people and the Corvins. She went to work, attended her classes, and studied late into the night. She still had no money for luxuries, but she seemed happy. Henry found himself thinking about her more and more. In his world of corporate deals and political maneuvering, everyone wanted something from him. People were polite because he was rich and powerful. They smiled because they hoped to gain something. But Maya had been kind to him when she thought he was just a poor old man. She had given him her last money, when she had every reason to keep it for herself. She had risked her safety to protect him from the Corvins. Henry made a decision. He would help Maya Rodriguez achieve her dreams of working with alien species. But first, he needed to make sure she would accept his help for the right reasons. He needed to test her character one more time, and he needed to deal with the Corvins who were threatening her. Henry looked out at the stars and remembered Maya's words from that night at the diner. She had said humans could make the galaxy a better place through understanding and kindness. Maybe she was right. Maybe there was more than one way to show strength. Henry began planning. He would give Maya Rodriguez the chance to prove that humans deserved respect not because they were powerful, but because they were good. But first he had to keep her alive. Maya arrived at Danny's diner for her evening shift, unaware that she was being watched from 3 different locations. Henry's security team sat in a delivery truck across the street. The 3 Corvins waited in their hover car behind the building. And Henry himself watched through hidden cameras from his office in space. The past week had been strange for Maya. Unusual things kept happening around the diner. A well-dressed man had offered her a job at an expensive restaurant downtown, but something felt wrong about it. The man kept asking questions about her customers and seemed disappointed when she said she never paid attention to other people's business. Then a wealthy customer had tried to bribe her for information about who ate at the diner late at night. He offered her $500 just to tell him about the old man who had been robbed. Maya refused and told her manager Danny about it. Danny was suspicious too and banned the man from the restaurant. Maya did not understand why people were suddenly so interested in her and the diner. She just wanted to work, study, and save money for her education. Tonight felt different from the moment she walked in. The usual evening customers were not there. The diner was nearly empty except for one table of humans she did not recognize. They looked like business people, but they ordered only coffee and kept checking their watches. At 10 o'clock the bell chimed, and Maya looked up to see a Corvin enter the diner. It was the tall gray one who had robbed the old man a week ago. Maya felt her heart start beating faster, but she tried to stay calm. The Corvin sat at the counter and stared at Maya with his cold black eyes. "You remember me, human girl?" Maya kept wiping glasses, trying not to show her fear. "Can I get you something to eat or drink? I want information about the old human man, the one you helped." "I don't know what you're talking about." The Corvin leaned forward. "Do not lie to me. We know you gave him money. We know you talked to him. What did he tell you?" Maya set down the glass she was holding. "He didn't tell me anything. I helped him because he was hurt. That's all." Where did he go? How did he contact you again? He didn't contact me. I haven't seen him since that night. The Corvin's eyes narrowed. You expect me to believe that Harrison Walsh gave you nothing? No reward? No message? Maya stared at him. Who is Harrison Walsh? The Corvin studied her face carefully. Maya's confusion looked genuine, which seemed to surprise him. He had expected her to know who she had helped. The old man you helped, the Corvin said slowly. He was not just any human. He was Harrison Walsh, the richest human in the galaxy. Maya felt like the world had turned upside down. The kind old man who had thanked her for a simple sandwich was Harrison Walsh, the same Harrison Walsh she had read about in her business classes, the man who owned Walsh Dynamics and competed with alien corporations across the galaxy. That's impossible, Maya said. He was just a nice old man who lost his wallet. The Corvin laughed, but it was not a pleasant sound. You really do not know. This is very interesting. The business people at the corner table were watching the conversation carefully. Maya noticed one of them speaking quietly into a small communication device. The Corvin continued talking. Harrison Walsh is our enemy. His company takes business away from Corvin traders. He makes humans think they can compete with superior species like us. I don't know anything about business, Maya said. I'm just a waitress. Perhaps, but you helped our enemy. That makes you valuable to us. Maya backed away from the counter. I need to get back to work. The Corvin stood up. This conversation is not finished, human girl. We will talk again soon. After he left, Maya felt shaky. She called Danny, but he was at home with his family. She called the police, but they said they could not do anything unless the Corvin had actually threatened her. The next few days were worse. More Corvins came to the diner, always asking the same questions. They wanted to know about Harrison Walsh. They wanted to know if he had contacted her. They wanted to know what secrets he had shared with her. Maya told them the truth over and over. She knew nothing about any secrets. She had helped an old man who seemed kind and lost. That was all. But the Corvins did not believe her. They began following her home from work. They waited outside her apartment building. They watched her at school. Maya tried to continue her normal life, but she was scared. She had no money to hire protection. She had no family to help her. She was alone. One evening, a different kind of test came. Maya was walking home from class when she saw an elderly alien woman being harassed by two young human men. The woman was small and frail, with blue skin and large, frightened eyes. Go back to your own planet, one of the men shouted. We don't want your kind here. The alien woman tried to walk away, but the men blocked her path. They pushed her and she fell to the ground. Her shopping bag split open, spilling food across the sidewalk. Maya knew she should keep walking. She was already in trouble with the Corvins. Getting involved in another incident would only make things worse. But she could not walk away. The alien woman reminded her of her own grandmother, who had died when Maya was young. The woman looked scared and helpless. Maya ran to help. Leave her alone, she told the two men. This is none of your business, one of them said. Someone being hurt is everyone's business. Maya helped the alien woman to her feet and began collecting her scattered groceries. The woman spoke in a language Maya did not understand, but her grateful tone was clear. The two men were angry. You're choosing aliens over your own species? I'm choosing what's right over what's wrong, Maya said. The men looked like they might cause more trouble, but other people were starting to notice the commotion. They decided to leave, making angry comments as they walked away. Maya helped the alien woman carry her groceries to the bus stop. The woman kept thanking her in her own language and trying to give Maya money as a reward. Maya refused the money, but smiled to show she was friendly. After the alien woman got on her bus, Maya continued walking home. She did not know that the entire incident had been recorded by Henry's security cameras. She did not know that Henry had arranged for the two men to harass the alien woman, wanting to see how Maya would react. Henry watched the recording in his office with Carol and Commander Murphy. She could have walked away, Henry said. She's already in danger because of me. Getting involved in another incident was risky for her. But she helped anyway, Carol observed. Yes. Even when it would have been safer to mind her own business, she chose to help someone who needed it. Commander Murphy looked concerned. Sir, the Corvins are escalating their surveillance. Our sources say they're planning something bigger than just questions. Henry nodded. What kind of something? We think they're going to take her. They believe she has information about your business operations. They plan to interrogate her properly. Henry felt cold anger building inside him. Maya Rodriguez was in danger because she had shown kindness to a stranger. She was being threatened because she had given her last $13 to help someone she thought needed it. How long do we have? Henry asked. Maybe a day or two. They're being careful because they don't want to start a diplomatic incident, but they will move soon. Henry made his decision. It's time to end this test. Maya Rodriguez has proven herself beyond any doubt. Now I need to prove that humans protect the people who represent the best of our species. Carol looked at him. What are you going to do? Henry smiled, but it was not a kind smile. I'm going to show the Corvins what happens when they threaten someone under my protection, and I'm going to show Maya Rodriguez that her kindness was not wasted on an ungrateful old man. Henry began giving orders to his security team. The test was over. Now it was time for Harrison Walsh to reveal himself and repay a debt that was worth far more than $13. But first, he had to make sure Maya survived the next 24 hours. Maya was walking home from her evening shift at the diner when the hover car pulled up beside her. She had seen this car before, parked across from the diner and following her through the streets. Now it stopped directly in her path. The three Corvins got out, the tall gray one, the scaled one, and the one with yellow eyes. Maya tried to run, but two more Corvins appeared from an alley behind her. She was trapped. Maya Rodriguez, the tall gray one said. You are coming with us. I don't know anything, Maya said, backing against a building wall. I told you everything already. You lie. Harrison Walsh does not help random humans without reason. You must have given him information about our operations. What operations? I don't know anything about your business. The scaled Corvin stepped forward. We will find out what you know. Our ship has better ways to make humans talk. Maya screamed for help, but the street was empty. It was past midnight, and this part of the city was mostly warehouses and closed shops. The Corvins grabbed her arms and started dragging her toward their hover car. Then bright lights flooded the street. 3 black vehicles surrounded the Corvin hover car. Armed humans in tactical gear jumped out, pointing weapons at the aliens. Release the woman, a voice called through a speaker. You are surrounded. The Corvins looked surprised but not scared. The tall gray one shouted back, This is Corvin Syndicate business, do not interfere. This is human space and that is a human citizen. Release her now. Maya did not understand what was happening. Who were these armed humans? Why were they helping her? The yellow-eyed Corvin pulled out a weapon and pointed it at Maya's head. We leave with the girl, or she dies here. Maya felt the cold metal of the alien weapon against her skull. She had never been so frightened in her life. She thought about her dreams of working with alien species, of helping humans and aliens understand each other. It seemed like those dreams would die with her on this empty street. Then she heard a familiar voice. Let her go. Take me instead. Maya turned to see the old man from the diner walking slowly toward them. Henry Walsh. But he looked different now. He wore an expensive suit and walked with confidence. Behind him came more armed humans. Harrison Walsh, the tall gray Corvin said. We meet again. You wanted me, Henry said. Here I am. Let the girl go. She has nothing to do with our business. She helped you. That makes her part of this. Henry stepped closer. She helped a lost old man find his way home. She gave him her last money because she thought he needed it. She had no idea who I was. Maya stared at Henry. This was really Harrison Walsh, the famous businessman she had read about in school, the kind old man who had thanked her for a sandwich. was one of the most powerful humans in the galaxy. You still owe us for the humiliation, the scaled Corvin said. Your company takes business from Corvin traders. You make humans think they are equal to superior species. Henry smiled coldly. Superior? You had to attack an old man with 3 warriors to steal his wallet. You had to threaten a young woman to make yourselves feel strong. That does not sound superior to me. The Corvins looked angry, but Henry continued talking. Maya Rodriguez represents the best of humanity. She shows kindness to strangers. She helps those who need it even when she has almost nothing herself. She stands up to bullies even when they are bigger and stronger than she is. Henry looked directly at Maya. I tested you, Maya. I had to know if your kindness was real. I watched you for days and you passed every test. You helped people who could not help you back. You chose what was right even when it was dangerous. Maya felt confused and hurt. You were spying on me? I had to be sure. Too many people have tried to use my wealth for their own gain. But you are different. You helped me when you thought I was nobody special. The tall gray Corvin was getting impatient. Enough talking, we are taking both humans. I do not think so, Henry said. Suddenly more lights appeared in the sky. Military aircraft surrounded the area and soldiers rappelled down ropes to the street. These were not just security guards. These were Earth Defense Force troops. Commander Murphy stepped forward, wearing full military armor. By order of the Earth Defense Force, you are under arrest for kidnapping and assault on human citizens. The Corvins looked around nervously. They were outnumbered 20-1, and the human weapons were pointed directly at them. You cannot arrest us, the scaled Corvin said. We have diplomatic immunity, not for kidnapping, Murphy replied. And not in human space. The yellow-eyed Corvin still held his weapon to Maya's head. We will kill the girl if you do not let us leave. Henry stepped even closer. If you hurt her, I will make sure the Corvin Syndicate never trades in human space again. I will use every credit I have and every favor I am owed to destroy your people economically. You would start a war over one human female? This human female represents something important. She shows that humans are not weak. We are strong because we care for each other. We are strong because we help those who need help. We are strong because we do what is right, even when it costs us. Maya felt tears in her eyes. She had never heard anyone speak about her like that before. Henry continued. You think humans are inferior because we show kindness. You think we are weak because we help each other. But kindness is not weakness. It is the greatest strength any species can have. The standoff continued for several tense minutes. Finally, the tall gray Corvin made a decision. Release the girl. We cannot fight so many. The yellow-eyed Corvin lowered his weapon. Maya ran toward Henry and the human soldiers. Her legs felt shaky, but she was alive. The Corvins were arrested and taken away in military vehicles. Maya watched them go, still, trying to understand everything that had happened. Henry walked over to her. Are you hurt? I'm okay, Maya said. But I don't understand. Why did you help me? Why did you test me? What do you want from me? Henry smiled, and now he looked like the kind old man she had met at the diner. I want to give you something, Maya. Something you earned with $13 and a heart full of kindness. What? A future. A chance to show the galaxy what humans can be. A chance to make your dreams come true. Maya looked at him suspiciously. What kind of future? The kind where a waitress from New Angeles becomes one of the most important people in human space. The kind where your ideas about cooperation between species become reality. The kind where $13 changes the galaxy. Henry gestured toward one of the military vehicles. Come with me, Maya Rodriguez. Let me show you what your kindness has earned you. Maya hesitated. Everything was happening too fast. A few hours ago, she had been worried about having enough money for lunch. Now she was being rescued by the military and offered a mysterious future by the richest man in human space. But she remembered Henry's words about her representing the best of humanity. She remembered her dreams of working with alien species. She remembered all the times she had helped others and hoped that someone would help her someday. Maya took a deep breath and walked toward the vehicle. She did not know what the future would bring, but she knew it would be different from anything she had imagined. As they drove away, Henry began to explain what he wanted to offer her. Maya listened with growing amazement, beginning to understand that her life was about to change in ways she could never have dreamed. 5 years later, Maya Rodriguez stood in front of the rebuilt Danny's Diner, but it looked nothing like the small restaurant where she had once worked. The building was now 3 times larger, with beautiful gardens and a sign that read, Danny's Interspecies Cultural Center in 12 different languages. Maya wore a formal diplomatic uniform with the Earth Federation symbol on her shoulder. At 28 years old, she was now Dr. Maya Rodriguez, Earth's chief cultural advisor for alien relations. Her journey from waitress to diplomat had been incredible. Henry Walsh stood beside her, looking proud. He was now 75 years, old and walked with a cane, but his eyes were still sharp and kind. Over the past 5 years, he had become like a father to Maya, guiding her education and career. "Are you ready for this?" Henry asked. Maya nodded. "I've been ready since the night I gave you $13. Inside the cultural center, representatives from 50 different alien species sat around a massive conference table. This was the most important peace summit in galactic history. The Corvin Syndicate, the Zephyrian Empire, the Altarian Republic, and dozens of smaller civilizations had come to sign the Unity Accords. Maya had spent 3 years writing these accords. They were agreements that would establish permanent peace between humans and all major alien civilizations. Trade would be fair. Disputes would be solved through talking, not fighting. Cultural exchange programs would help different species understand each other better. The Corvin delegation sat at one end of the table. Maya recognized the tall gray Corvin who had tried to kidnap her 5 years ago. His name was Commander Vex, and he was now the Corvin ambassador to Earth. The 3 Corvins who had attacked Henry were in prison, but Vex had been promoted for bringing the kidnapping plot to the attention of Corvin leadership. It turned out that the 3 Corvins had been acting without orders. The Corvin Syndicate leadership had been embarrassed by their behavior and wanted to make peace with humans. Maya walked to the center of the table and activated the holographic display. A 3-dimensional map of the galaxy appeared, showing trade routes and territorial boundaries. 5 years ago, Maya began, I was a waitress who dreamed of working with alien species. I believed that humans and aliens could understand each other if we just tried hard enough. Today, we are here to make that dream a reality. She looked around the table at the assembled delegates. There were beings with fur, scales, metal skin, and energy bodies. Some breathed oxygen, others methane. Some were smaller than humans, others were giants. But they all listened respectfully as Maya spoke. The Unity Accords are not just about trade and territory, Maya continued. They are about recognizing that every species has something valuable to offer the galaxy. Humans bring creativity and compassion. Corvins bring strength and discipline. Zephyrians bring wisdom and patience. Altarians bring innovation and logic. Ambassador Vex spoke up. Dr. Rodriguez, the Corvin Syndicate accepts these terms. We have learned that human kindness is not weakness, as we once believed. It is a form of strength we did not understand. The Zephyrian ambassador, a tall being with silver skin and multiple arms, nodded agreement. The Zephyrian Empire has traded with humans for 5 years now. We have found them to be honest and reliable partners. One by one, each alien delegation agreed to sign the accords. Maya felt tears of joy in her eyes as she watched species that had been enemies for centuries agree to work together in peace. When the signing ceremony was finished, Maya stood outside the cultural center with Henry. The sun was setting over New Angeles and the city lights were beginning to twinkle in the distance. I never imagined that giving you my last $13 would lead to this, Maya said. Henry smiled. Your $13 did not lead to this, Maya. Your character did. The money was just a symbol of who you are inside. Maya thought about her journey. After Henry had rescued her from the Corvins, he had offered her a full scholarship to the Galactic University. She had studied xenobiology, alien languages, and diplomatic relations. Henry had paid for everything, but he had made sure she earned her success through hard work. Maya had graduated at the top of her class and immediately began working for Earth's diplomatic service. Her first assignment had been to negotiate with the Corvin Syndicate about the 3 criminals who had attacked Henry and kidnapped her. Instead of demanding punishment, Maya had proposed a cultural exchange program. Young Corvins would come to Earth to learn about human society, while young humans would visit Corvin worlds to understand their culture. The program had been so successful that other alien civilizations wanted to join. Maya's approach to diplomacy was always the same. She treated every species with respect and tried to understand their point of view. She looked for common ground instead of focusing on differences. Her methods worked because they were based on the same kindness she had shown to a lost old man in a diner. "What happens now?" Maya asked Henry. "Now the real work begins," Henry replied. "Signing agreements is easy. Making them work requires constant effort." Maya nodded. She knew that peace was not something you achieved once and then forgot about. It required daily choices to be kind, to be understanding, and to help others even when it was difficult. A young woman approached them from the cultural center. She looked nervous and excited. Maya recognized her as Lisa Chen, a student from New Angeles Community College. "Dr. Rodriguez," Lisa said, "I just wanted to thank you for your speech tonight. I'm studying xenobiology, just like you did. Your story gives me hope that I can make a difference too." Maya smiled and remembered herself at that age, working at the diner and dreaming of a better future. "What's your dream, Lisa?" "I want to help establish the first human colony on an alien world. I think humans and aliens could live together if they understood each other better." Maya looked at Henry, who nodded. "Walsh Dynamics is always looking for bright young people with good ideas," Henry said. "Why don't you come see me next week? Let's talk about your dreams." Lisa's eyes went wide with excitement. She thanked them both and hurried away to tell her friends the good news. Maya watched her go and felt proud. This was how change really happened. One person helped another, who then helped someone else. Kindness spread like ripples in a pond, touching lives in ways you could never predict. Henry put his hand on Maya's shoulder. "Your $13 have grown into something beautiful, Maya. But the best part is not the money or the success. The best part is that you are still the same person who gave her last money to help a stranger." Maya looked back at the cultural center, where humans and aliens were still talking and laughing together. Some were sharing meals, others were exchanging stories about their home worlds. Children of different species were playing games together in the garden. This was her vision of the future. Not humans conquering the galaxy through superior weapons or technology. Not aliens dominating humans through force or intimidation. But all species working together, each contributing their strengths to make the galaxy a better place for everyone. Maya thought about that night 5 years ago, when she had walked home in the rain, worried about having enough money for lunch the next day. She had given away her last $13 without knowing that it would change her life and the lives of billions of beings across the galaxy. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness have the biggest consequences. Sometimes helping one person helps everyone. And sometimes a waitress with $13 can change the universe. Maya smiled and walked back into the cultural center, ready to continue the work of building a better galaxy, one act of kindness at a time.